I've got to close stuff up now. Not that I want to, because it isn't hot enough in here already. And we need to make it a tad hotter. Current temperature in the room is 26 degrees, outside is 20 degrees. I've just turned the windows off, and now I'm about to turn my fan off. Why do I get this is going to be a bad idea? Hi there, my name's Luke, welcome back to PhotoBite, and today we're looking at the Sony Xperia 5. Let's get into it. This is the Sony Xperia 5. It lands between the Xperia 1 being the premium model and the Xperia 10 being the entry-level model, and I have to say it does pack quite a few nice features. It also features 3 cameras on the back here as well, so they're all 12 megapixels. We're looking at a 16, a 26 and a 52mm, and you know what? They're actually very impressive, and that's going to be our focus today. So if you're here to look at fingerprint speeds and the internals, which I'll be touching on a little bit, we won't be going crazy. This will mainly be focused on the cameras, so if you want to see more about these, then stay tuned. It's already 27 degrees in this room. So what makes this phone so good is that it has a 21:9 aspect ratio, so it's extremely wide, cinema wide as well. Go away. Why do you launch when I don't want you to launch? But when I want you to launch, you don't want to launch. And it also features a 3145 milliamp battery, although I do kind of think they could have gone a bit higher, but we won't really go into it. I think 4000 what they should have been aiming for in this phone, but nonetheless, we'll move on from there. One of the nice little features as well is the fact that you've actually got an actual camera button. I haven't seen one of those in a while, and it's kind of refreshing not being able to try and tap the screen to take a picture. You can just press on the camera button and you're good to go. So fantastic. In terms of photos, really nice, very pretty. 16mm is okay, although you do see some distortion because it is wide and they are forcing it. So you do see the horizon kind of looking a little bit unlevel. But apart from that, the 26mm and the 52mm are very good. I do find the 52mm is, I don't know, I think it's slightly sharper, but I could be wrong. Could be because it's closer up on things, but personally I think it's sharper. But nonetheless, for 12 megapixels, it's very good. The reason they haven't opted for a higher resolution is you get this problem where you have pixels being crammed into a small space, and the more pixels you cram, the less light they can take, so the poorer they do in low light. And 12 megapixels at the moment is kind of optimal. It's great for 4K, great for 1080, and it's also great for photos as well. So that resolution at the moment is very well rounded, and it's also a very reliable use because you don't get massive files and you don't get tiny ones, so good on Sony for that one. But here's when things get a little bit different, and this is where I wanted to take the video. Now, we have photo that's been pushed by companies like Apple, Samsung, Huawei, OnePlus, Sony in the background. But now Sony have come forward and they've really pushed video. Now, not just in the video app, I mean, video out of there is fine. I'm talking like Hollywood level sort of video, in the fact that they have this new app, if I just load it up, and it's called Cinema Pro, and Cinema Pro actually looks very cool. And what you can do on Cinema Pro is you can actually tweak the lenses, so you can choose which lens you want to use. You can change the ISO from 64 all the way up to 800. You can also change the white balance, you can change the shutter angle. Yes, I said angle, although they do have in brackets the actual frames per second as well to make it a bit easier. However, there is no t-stop control, which is known as aperture in the film industry, and that is how wide the aperture opens up and closes. So they don't have that available on the lenses, which is unfortunate because it means you've got to change your shutter speed, which isn't ideal when you're making a film. You kind of want to keep that consistent, but we won't get into it now, we'll talk about it later. You also have what people calling filters, but technically they are color grades or LUTs, and they actually give you a look to your film. Rather than just shooting saturated everything, you can choose to have more of a teal look, a warmer orange look, or you want to go with a real cinematic like orange and teal kind of vibe. You can do that, you can choose, or you can go and be like a sepia dude, because they do actually have one. A shortcoming with the camera, and that is the fact that you don't have any image stabilization whatsoever. So I went out on a windy day when I was filming this, and my golly did you notice it. I did not realize how much optical image stabilization or even electric image stabilization comes in handy when you're filming things. I mean, it was next to impossible to get a nice steady shot without thinking, oh, I better put it on a tripod. I mean, to be honest with you, if you are getting a tripod, you're getting a hook mount, you might as well just get a camera. Yes, it won't be a cinema camera, but you'd be better off going down that route because it might even have image stabilization, which will perform better than this. I mean, color-wise, as you can see, it looks great. You can't adjust it too much. In post, you can also change your crop factor, so you don't have to use the 21:9. You can use the 16:9, or you can go with a 4:3. It really is up to you on what you want to use, but it does have some limiting factors, although the quality is very good. The more types of people I see using it are people that are getting into filmmaking. They want a good phone, they want to be able to do some decent filmmaking without going out and buying a camera being a separate piece of kit. I also find it's good for anyone who is a scout and they go out and they look for locations. You can use this to get a good idea of the mood. You can see if it works or not without just taking pictures, going back to the director and saying, does this work? I think it works if we darken it. Maybe we should brighten it. I don't know, let's add a dragon. I'm writing that down, we should have a dragon. We need dragons. Yeah, overall the Xperia 5 is a very interesting phone. It offers a lot, but it does fall short of a few things such as image stabilization and the ability to control the T-stop. Other way you can avoid that is if you got a case or you basically hooked on an ND filter, that would restrict the amount of light coming in, thus you could have a lower shutter speed, and that would help you out with maintaining, you know, your 24 frames a second or 25 or 30 if you're American. Don't know why you guys shoot 30, I think 24 or 25 looks way better, but that's just an opinion. Anyway, so that's our thoughts on the Sony Xperia 5. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, my name's Luke, this is Photo Byte, and we'll see you next time.